We could talk about you? Yeah, we need to talk about it. Arknights Endfield is making changes. I would like to imagine and argue they are good changes because, lo and behold, we have been asking for a change to dodging, but I think the direction they've taken is a little bit extreme because we did fix the identity crisis that this game was having, trying to pull in the direction of RPS and also try and pull in the direction of a ARPG. But now what we have is much worse. It's just woo-wah. And I love woo-wah, okay? I do. There's no secret, but I don't want Mother Waves again. I wanted Arknights Endfield. I wanted the game that took the good elements of the woo-wah combat and still made some type of Kingdom Hearts, FF7 remake, real-time strategy combat of those lines and have it synergize with that base combat really well with the skill system. And I know it's early days, but I would like to imagine we're not getting that. We're just not, at least right now. Okay, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, this is about the Bilibili livestream. I have it here, which we can address really quickly. This livestream happened over in Bilibili. It showed the PS5 build of the game, because if you were not unaware, this game is a big component of the PlayStation ecosystem, because this is a conversation for a whole other video, but PlayStation is the gacha console. They have bought the rights to like every gacha game under the fucking sun, from what it seems like. So they were like, hey, we need to show what exactly this is. And there's been a lot of changes that have happened from what we can see, at least in terms of the way the gameplay mechanics do work, okay? If you like this video, by the way, please like, comment, and subscribe. We're going to get into it right now, because the big one is dodge, but there are a couple other things we kind of looked at and addressed, and that's also going to be spoken about in this video. So what you'll notice in this combat as well is it is pretty straightforward. It is what we do know and love. It is the fun. It is like the decent part of the combat, albeit the tweaks are going to be more based towards the dodging mechanics and say I wouldn't call it parrying, but the dodge timings. So what I want you to watch out for here is there will be a circle that pops up on the ground, and this circle will slowly dilate until it gets to the very end, and you can dodge then. It's very easy to time from what we can see, and the actual dodge frame timing you get is unreal. It is so forgiving. I am concerned, okay? It seems too easy. Let's shut up and watch, okay? They don't dodge right now, but just watch the ability on the ground. So as you can see this right here. Right here at the bottom of the screen is what we're looking for, and it is a very slow static speed to go out to the border, and then when it hits the border, you have to hit dodge. Right here, times out. Didn't dodge then, but you dodge at the very end. You'll see very shortly. But the one thing I want to mention about this is this has, from what it looks like, and from what I can find in this limited gameplay we have gotten, this has completely overridden the red flash that you would get on enemies. The red flash that they had prior to this sucked. Let's just keep it a buck. The variations and timing of it and everything like that, and just how inconsistent it was, tilted me to. And to all those people saying I was bad at the game, I will happily admit when I am bad at the game, but this is not the case. You weren't even playing the game when this was a huge problem because of how restricted access to the beta was, alright? So people who were complaining about just not being good enough, you didn't even have access, baby. And that's just the way the cookie crumbles. So let me show you what I mean to what it previously was. Oh. Alright, so wait, I found it. Okay, so this is the one I'm talking about. This is what seemingly has been overridden, okay? So just pay attention to how this combat works. Right, so you're going to see a quick little flicker right there. So that, you're going to see the crash out.
Okay, that's exact. Hold on, I'm going to go on a fucking rant. Okay, that's exact.
Dude, whenever I watch it back, it makes me laugh. But that right there, this. See this? Keep an eye on the eye. You see a flash there, and then that tells you to dodge.
Oh, okay.
Now,
that's exact.
This was originally one of the biggest problems in the game, primarily just because what this flash was a warning to dodge. Some characters and some enemies, when the flash would proc, you dodge instantly. Others would have a slight variance, and then you have situations like this where it pop, you get nearly a whole last second, and then dodge, which pretty much fucks your timing and completely ruins whatever type of motion or fluidity that you feel playing this game. So the fact it's completely being chalked is definitely interesting. Can I get the exact flash on the screen? Or is it like actually so fine I won't get it? Yeah, that right there. This little blip on the screen. Yeah, you would get this, and I had many issues with it, but now it's in the past. It's not really a thing. So we don't really need to talk about it. The point is, they took out this annoying, frustrating, essentially just, it was built to cause friction with gameplay. That's what it felt like, right? And from what I can see, it is entirely gone now. From what we see in this gameplay, it is a thing of the past. Angelina also cooking, by the way. And what I will say as well, the combat does have a lot of, let's say, flair to it now. There is a lot more animation surrounding skills and surrounding ultimates, and overall just a graphical rework to the projectiles in the game, which I think is cool. Makes it feel spicier, makes it feel a lot more nice, you know. More flair is something we do love. Like, as you can see with the ults, there's a bit more to them now. And one thing I did want to also mention, I believe it is in the intro of combats. Right there. There it is. I found it. Okay, there's a little bit of searching you wouldn't have seen in the video. There is a big change that happened, and for those who never played the game directly or unaware, there was a mechanic, you can call it. It was part of the game, where you have to hit 4 times, like hit 1, hit 2, hit 3, hit 4. 4 is classed as Final Strike. Final Strike helps you regenerate SP. SP are the 3 skill points you see at the bottom of the screen right now, and they don't generate a lot, alright? A lot of the complaints that people did have with the original Enfield was combat in between skill points is the most painful and just grindy thing there is. There isn't really much going on, and you can chalk it up to skill issue, you can chalk it up to whatever you damn well please. The fact of the matter is it wasn't enjoyable when you were out of skill points. I understand it takes the idea of, hey, maybe you have to ration your skill points. Of course. But give me something in between that can still function, because we didn't really have that. Sure, we had combo skills, but they didn't work like that. They didn't work as a function to build up, or they do work to build up skill points in a degree, but they don't inherently solve the issue of in between skill points. When you were out of skills, you are screwed. It is just like 8 seconds of just sitting there waiting, straight up just waiting. Charge final attacks, sure, but when you would hit in final attacks, you would have to hit 4 consecutively. If you got up to 3 and there was a big hit coming in and you dodged, resets the counter. You do not continue your combo chain. Made gameplay very, very disruptive and just overall super, super slow. And so what you can see here is they will hit 3 times, dodge, and continue into the final attack, which you'll see at the bottom here will fill in their skill gauge. See, dodge, and then final fills up skill point 3. So they've now made it so you can dodge without penalty of losing your combo, right? And that's good. I think that is a huge W change. And that's like mainly this section, the big thing people really caught onto. Like, there's little things that you will notice that AI, Perlica, your overworld friends or overworld units, they will collect things on the ground for you, which I guess is cool if you care about that kind of thing. I really don't. Outside of units collecting stuff like autonomously, there isn't really that much difference. So to go to the final thing that there was, you're going to see in the gameplay right here, the big thing that pretty much tells us where this game's going to be at for release. The TLDR is that they buckled, right? They buckled pretty hard. They gave into all of the reports and all of the constructive feedback that the Genshin fans, and I would argue just ARPG fans in general, like, right? Because let's keep it a buck. They want them again to make the most money, and I've said this every single time, and I'll keep saying it every single time. And for those who have the rebuttal of, oh, this game isn't made for the lowest common denominator, just look at Arknights, you know? Arknights' overheads are so astronomically small in terms of funds to keep a game running like that versus a game like this. I'm not even kidding when I say this, it might be 10x to 20x in terms of actually making the game. So there is a lot more risk to create a game like Enfield versus base Arknights. So I don't want to hear any arguments, people saying, oh, it's not for... They want it to stay to a very small amount of people, and the factory will filter out people, and that will be a gatekeeper in and of itself. I don't want to hear that, because that just outright makes no fucking sense. It just doesn't, and if you do think that, that's some crazy fucking copium, buddy. I would love to be huffing what you're on. Right? But anyway, back to what this is all about. You're going to see here that we have the dodge system drastically changed, right? It's very, very changed. There are 3 main things you will notice, and we'll get into them in a second. And the game, let's face it, is more of a wooer spec in terms of the gameplay now. At least the direct mechanics of dodging and of attacking. You'll see what I'm talking about now. Right, so off the ult, on the ground. See this? See this right here? See this right here? Yeah, same thing we saw from before. And you will see they time it, and you don't just get a dodge out of safety now. You get a perfect dodge animation. Bang. And you also get a punish. You saw that there? There was also a punish tied on to the end of it. Now, two big things to note here. Both the dodge, keep an eye on the skill points down here, both the dodge gives you skill point regen, and the punish gives you skill point regen. That is insane. Can we have something in the middle, please, Griffline? Can we have, say, this in the game, but not double stack the reward for hitting the timing of this? Because on stream, we broke it down a lot of what we're actually getting here, okay? Just look at this, because I think something no one's really accounted for, at least right now, is look at how much of a window you have to hit this. The fucking amount of frames you get is the entirety of the dodge. It's not when you initially press it. The guy who's playing this in this gaming showcase of this on the PS5, look at this, he dodges so early, and he still somehow fucking hits it. This is my concern. If any part of the dodge can trigger this mechanic into a perfect dodge into the punish to get this regen, the skill gap is gone, right? I don't think every gacha game should be Dark Souls 2. I don't think that at all. But I also don't think they should be Genshin in spec of difficulty, you know, Wuthering Waves. Wuthering Waves is harder, but you get the point I'm trying to make. I feel like a lot of the attraction to the Arknights franchise has always been the end game is such a loose term in gacha now, but the end game-ish towards latter stages, the really grindy gameplay once you do the base stages, the attraction is kind of the difficulty in it. So if this game isn't really going to have that, I am of great concern, because if you don't know as well, in the game there is also a SP armor set. It helps you generate skill points at a higher base rate. So if that is still in the game on release, paired with these abilities now of when you dodge, you can continue your follow-up attacks into a final strike. It doesn't reset the combo. Combining that with perfect dodges now hit any window, any frame of the window of a dodge to successfully trigger it, excuse me. And then combo that, can't believe we're still going, combo that on top of the ability of a punish after hitting a perfect dodge successfully. We're in for, oh my god, we are in for some serious spam. And the only way to combat that as a platform, if that is going to be the bones of your gameplay, the real architecture of the DNA of the way this will be built, and all the foundation of the game be built on from this, is HP inflation, which is the worst option we can have going forward for end game. And just having the way of enemies take more damage, because when you have such a rate of what we can see right now of SP generation, it's too high. At least from the limited amount we've seen, we're yet to get our hands on it. Again, everything you're seeing from me and every other creator covering this is speculation. It just is. We don't have hands-on yet. We'll probably get hands-on in the next 3 or so weeks. I would argue there's probably another beta coming up towards August 30th. We will be able to judge then. And also, I don't think I mentioned it. I'll just put it in here now before I forget. The perfect dodge does not take stamina. So if you successfully hit it, you regen stam and it's the same. You're good, right? It is a freebie. There is 0 punishments, and I think the easiest way to directly fix this is change the window. Make it similar to, say, Sekiro, Stellar Blade, games that have a very, very suffering parry mechanic. The window is so fine, because I think they operate on 8 frames to 12 frames of a parry window, something in that margin. And for those who don't know, again, what I'm talking about, I'm talking about how the game has allowances to hit parries, to hit dodges. And there's 60 frames in a second, at least in the game's mechanics. To have what we currently have in Wuwa operates at something like a 20 to 35 frame window. It's very generous to hit them. But at least in Wuwa, the only thing you really do directly get out of it is you don't take damage, right? You avoid getting just fucking whacked, my guy. So, you know, But if there was like a skill generation based thing and we were in it would work to this extent, oh my god, the state of the game would be ridiculous. So either the way is we rewind this idea of the change, or we make that window go from that 35 to 20 base range, halve it, make it hard to actually hit. Because that will still keep the skill check in there, and it is something you can learn with time. And again, if we went to 15 to 20 frames, it's still very hittable. It's still very hittable for casuals, but it takes out the spamming. From what I have right now, that's the only way you can possibly fix it. And then other than that, from this live stream, it didn't really show us much else. It showed us, hey, if you guys want, there is an ability in the game to, as I mentioned before, have your AI just collect everything for you. It's really nothing. It's really nothing to really speak about here. And then, yeah, it goes into the factory and everything like that. So the main takeaway here is the changes in the ability of SP. SP is so generative right now. We went from 0 SP regen to having crazy in-betweens of just nothing happening. Even if you'd played correctly with the right armor set, with synergy, it just had downtime. It was just a fact you had to deal with. And the intuitive system of the combos in this game weren't enough to fill that void because so much damage comes from the combos and comes from skill points. Now, when you look at that build of the game and compare it to what we're seeing now, it's, again, haven't got our hands on the game, and in the current nature of the beast, people who are disagreeing with me probably have already stopped watching and have left like a hate comment or something. I feel like we're now too high, right? But that's just where I think we're at in the game. I think they overkilled the way to fix this. I think it's now too generous, but we don't have hands on yet. I am just going off speculation that I think it's a fair time to be kind of fearful at the moment. I'm sure you're probably going to see videos from Tobo or Renegade or pretty much anyone worth their salt in the Arknights community. Because I don't think anyone who actually... Because this is also another thing I should talk about. People who like Arknights hate this change. People who hate Arknights love this change. It is a catch-22 of the truest form, where it gets the lowest common denominator playing because it's going to be very easy to stack points and just follow one YouTube guide and you're set for life now for combat. But people who like the challenge of the base Arknights tower defense and all that kind of things, they're going to hate this because of how easy it's going to be. At least right now. Every game on 1.0 has a skill gap, sure, because there isn't so much stuff in the game. But when we get through banners and more characters come in and they have to inflate things accordingly, we're going to be in trouble. We're going to be in trouble because no matter what they inflate, the combos we're going to have at our disposal for having such a quick regen rate. And it's also worth considering too, we're probably going to get characters that have SP in their kit somewhere. It's cause for concern. It definitely is. But anyway, I just wanted to talk about it because I've made a video in 2 weeks and I love Arknights and this popped up and I thought, hey, what a time to get back into the mix, baby. Yeah, let me know what you think in the comments below or let me know in Discord. It is in the description of this video that you're watching. And come join me on Twitch or YouTube. I simul stream on both. So, yeah, thank you all so much for watching. Let me know if you agree, disagree, like, or dislike. I understand I'm a condescending fellow, so I'm not surprised if you don't like me or don't like my take here. At least let me know why instead of just outright saying, Arknights is better. You're an idiot. You're an absolute fucking buffoon, dude. Because I know I'm going to get those comments because it's Arknights. It's probably the most elitist fan base coming from a guy who fucking loves the franchise. I'm not trashing it for no reason. I'm aware saying there is good and bad to this is, yeah, controversial to say the least. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to head out now. Bye-bye now.